Hey up, and welcome to Corey's Corner. Today I want to talk about my weird roommates and some truly just god-awful lectures I had to go to, and I want to basically share my experience with this and just get a lot of things off my chest. So first of all, I'm going to start out by talking a bit about life on like the actual university campus itself, because it's kind of what I expected, it's kind of what I expected, but it's also like some things did surprise me. Like one thing that I obviously expected was I expected to be all alone. I expected to be lonely, and obviously I am very socially isolated. I don't really go out at all anymore. I used to only go out for shopping and for lectures. Now I don't even go out for lectures. I'll talk about that later, about why I stopped going, but it's very lonely here. It gets very isolating, and sometimes I'll go out for to smoke in between the apartment block. I really don't smoke that often, but when I do, I go outside just in between the apartment blocks. And the way it's set up is there's all these huge apartment buildings, and the wind howls through these, because it's like a mountain town, and there's a lot of wind, and it kind of howls through these apartments. It creates these alleys basically of air, of all these chambers of air, and it's just really cold and windy in between them. Makes it very hard to light a cigarette. First of all, it's not like I'm experienced at it either, but it's just very cold, very lonely, and it's just walking around the place. It's just very these huge buildings kind of rise up, and it's just very isolating. I don't know, but I expected that, but there are other things I didn't anticipate about kind of living by myself that maybe I should have. Laundry, I have to do my own laundry. There was an issue with the laundrette here. So basically on the university campus there's a bunch of these buildings spread around where they have washing machines or whatever shit you need to wash up, and instead of using a coin or whatever in putting that into the machine you'd think they have this app, and it's this app wouldn't let me put money on it for 2 weeks. So I had a bunch of unwashed clothes lying around that I just couldn't I just couldn't wash because I couldn't put money on this app. But eventually I figured it out, but then I had to use Bluetooth on my phone to connect to the washing machine. It wouldn't pick it up for some reason, and I was waiting in this washing machine room, and there was this really fat girl, this bloke maxed, this bloke maxed girl sitting there on this bench waiting for her clothes to be done. I mean, they looked like they probably required an industrial washing, and there was a spider on the floor, and I saw it when I picked up my washing. I thought no big deal, it's just a spider. But she saw her and she was ugh, and she stepped on it, and it's just I don't know. I don't even know why I mentioned that, but it's just something about that. It's I was just raised not to do that. I remember one day in school, actually, in elementary school, there was this snail, and someone stepped on it, and I was just a little kid, but I started crying. It's just the way I was raised, I was raised probably too sensitively to be too nice and stuff. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make a deal. I'm not saying I'm too nice, people don't like me. It wouldn't make a deal. It's my face, I know that. But it would have been better to be callous to the world, I think. I don't know. There's a gym as well here. There's quite a nice gym. It's not a university gym. It's anyone can go, but it's it's 2 minutes from my apartment, so that's pretty nice. I'll talk more about that next video. Actually, I'm going back to the gym. I'm doing all that kind of stuff. I'm not even going to bring that up. Actually, I'll talk about that next video. And one thing that's pretty close to me is a 10-minute walk, so it's a little bit further away, but it's still pretty close. Is this 24-hour slop shop that I've talked about this in the past, and I call it a slop shop because I found this kind of funny in the local language, because I'm not in my home country anymore. They speak a different language here. In the local language, shop is spelt slop, and I just found that so funny. And outside this store, they just have in massive capital letters slop above the door, and I just found that so funny when I saw it. They got to be careful. Actually, maybe they'll be hearing from DBDR's lawyers for copying his word, but maybe the whole country will be shut down for copying him. I don't know. But this 24-hour shop is actually really useful, or it was for a while. I don't really go anymore because now I'm doing this whole gym thing. I'm buying weekly groceries and stuff. I'm eating healthy. I'm trying anyway. But I'd go here just to get they have a lot of good stuff there. They have microwavable stuff, little wraps and stuff. They have fags there, which is good. Well, it's not good, but that's where I'd go to get them. Some of the people that would congregate at this 24-hour slop shop, which is some of the worst subhumans I've ever seen, especially late at night, because I'd be up at like 4 a.m, 3 a.m, just, so, I don't know, not even insomnia, I don't even know, just, I've been sick a lot of the time I've been here, like hungover as well, and I'd get up really late and I'd go to this slop shop, and there'd be all these subhumans there. Like, there was a guy I went in there once. There was this dude here, like, probably like 1 a.m, and he had this like comically large red cup, like, you know those red solo cups they have, but it was like massive, like he was holding it with both of his hands, and I looked inside because I kind of walked past him, and I saw inside, and it had this like weird like pinky liquid in there. I don't know if it was like lean or something, I don't know, and it had like this ice and stuff, and he was like shivering as he was holding it. It wasn't cold, I don't know, I assume he was like a drug addict or something. They have like fags there. I mentioned they were selling like cigarettes. If you don't know, fags are cigarettes. And one thing they also have is vapes. They have a lot of vapes there, and they have this like huge like container like right on the counter. So like when you go to walk up to the counter, like you literally can't even see the person selling you the shit because there's like a whole container full of vapes. And I was in there once, and there was this drunk guy ahead of me in the line, and he was like swaying around, and he was like tapping on the thing, and he's like, yeah, the green one, I want to get the green one, because they had all these different flavours, like watermelon flavoured vapes or whatever, or raspberry and shit. And it's like, does it really matter, you know, that he was like tapping on the glass, like specifically this one he wanted. It's like, does it matter, you know? But that's one thing I will never do. Like, I shouldn't have smoked, I probably won't smoke again, but I will definitely never ever vape, because that's the dumbest shit as well. So at least with smoking you look kind of cool. With vaping you just look like a dickhead, do you know what I mean? But yeah, there are other people in there, like drunk girls walking around, hanging around the store, you know, like 4 or 5 drunk girls with one guy. Like, people say like polygamy isn't an issue, you know, and it's like, I forget the statistic, but it's something like, you know, however many men are single, like more men are single than women are single, and people are like, how can that be? And it's like, it's because multiple women are dating the same guys. People think that's not a thing. It is. I'm on the streets, I'm on the front lines, you know, I'm seeing this shit live as it's going down. I can tell you that is the thing. Like, I don't think it's super common, but it happens. And all these girls are drunk, and girls get so fucking annoying when they're drunk. They're so loud as well, and it's just like, oh, just shut up, you know. And the most brutal thing I saw as well, there were these drunk girls there, and there was this one Chad with them in the store, and apart from them it was empty, and I was waiting for my shit to, you know, get scanned, and outside walked these 2 Indian manlets, and these 2 curry cells walked in, and they were just talking to each other, and you know, I just looked at them and looked at the chat with the girls, and I was just like, it's over, you know. It's just brutal in its simplicity. There's nothing else to say. It's just brutal. I don't know, that's kind of like what life is like on the campus. As for my apartment itself, I want to talk about my roommates actually. Hold on, let me talk about my roommates now real quick. So if you didn't know, I've talked about it, it doesn't matter. But I have 2 roommates, right? That's kind of weird actually. Apparently that's kind of unusual for the whole university, because most of the apartment blocks, they have like, well, each one can fit, well, R1, I don't know if this is all of them, but R1 can fit 8 people in it. So there are 8 different like apartments in the corridor, if you know what I mean, and then they all have a shared kitchen. But the thing is, R1, our apartment block, only has 2 other people in it, so it's me and 2 other guys. And, you know, during Fresh Starts Week I was kind of disappointed in that, because I was like, you know, I wanted more people to socialise with and stuff. But honestly, like, looking back now it's over and stuff, I actually think that was kind of a good thing, that, you know, there weren't too many people here. Like, there was a girl here that we had. There was a girl here, but she moved out like literally like 2 days after being here. Maybe she took one look at us. I don't know why she left. Like, she never said, like, I just came here one day and she was just gone, and they were like, oh, you know, my roommate sat me down there, like, oh, she left, and I was like, damn, I don't know, it is what it is. I mean, I wouldn't want to live, like, as a girl, I wouldn't want to be in an apartment with like 3 other guys either, I don't know, but whatever, you know, is what it is, I guess. But my 2 roommates are, one of them is this Asian guy. He's like a Chad or a Chang, which, if you don't know what Chang means, it's like an Asian Chad. And he hype mogs me to shit. Like, he actually hype mogs me to the astral realm and back. Like, literally hype mogs me so badly. He said he's like 6'3", I think, but I'm pretty sure he's even more, because I'm only like 5'9", 5'10", and he's so much taller than me, you know. Or maybe I'm just short, I don't know, maybe I'm just coving, I don't know. But yeah, this guy was talking to me about these bars he'd used to go to back in his like home country. He's from Asia. He's actually Asian, and he used to go to these like jazz bars. He was telling me, and he'd like see these. There'd be loads of MILFs there, and he'd like pick them up. And apparently, like sometimes he'd take them back to his apartment. Sometimes he'd go back to their place or whatever. Just brutal shit. And it's like, I know people would be like, oh, he's lying. You know, he's exaggerating. It's like, yeah, he probably is exaggerating, but you know, like looking at the guy, I don't have a hard time believing that's a thing. Whereas if I said that to someone, they'd be like, yeah, right, you know, because obviously look at me. And the other roommate I have, I just call him Jesse, or Jesse Pinkman, because he looks exactly like Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad, like exactly like uncanny. Actually, he looks exactly like him. And he's a pretty funny guy. He's a pretty weird guy. He's the kind of guy I'd say who. He's nice enough, but and that's like the thing as well. It's like my roommates aren't bad people. I don't hate them or anything. Like they clean up, they're quiet. It's like it is what it is, you know. It's like I kind of knew like just the person I am. I'm not gonna. I don't know. Like I'm not gonna be popular here, obviously. But it's like I couldn't have really, you know, had anything better happen to me. This situation probably played out the best it was going to, you know, with the roommate thing. And but this Jesse guy is like, he's a nice enough person, but he's one of those kind of people I think like I would just be worried about saying the wrong thing around him, you know. And that's just me. I think that's just how I kind of work. Like most of my relationships, it's like are very one way anyway. So it's like I'm always worried about saying the wrong thing to someone, upsetting them, or like offending them. And I always have like anxiety, like I'm going to say the wrong thing, or it's like it's only a matter of time until I say the wrong thing, you know. So it's like that's part of that's probably just like in my head, I think. But like I don't know. But yeah, he's pretty interesting guy. I came into the shared kitchen we have, and that's really the only place I see these people, you know, because like I spend basically all my time in my room, like all my time in my apartment. But whenever I you know I have to cook and stuff, so it's like I do see them sometimes. But I came in one day, this guy was like sitting on the couch, and he was like completely wet, shirtless. His hair was all wet, and he was just sitting there. It was like 6 a.m. I was just making breakfast.
Yo, I'm really sorry, okay?
What is wrong with you? Why are you blue?
And he was just sitting there, and I was like, I didn't even ask. Like he invited a homeless guy into our kitchen to spend the night one night, which was pretty weird.
Here, take it. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. I already talked about that in another video, but I was in the kitchen actually one day cooking as well, and this Jesse guy came in, and he was wearing like a skirt and like a crop top and stuff, and he had his like nails painted and shit, and he doesn't look like the kind of guy to do that, you know. But I know it's this thing, and it's like it's pretty weird. Like he's told us he's like bisexual and stuff, but he isn't like the stereotypical kind of camp guy. Like you would never guess it, you know what I mean? And it's like, I know that would like bother some people. They'd be like, "Oh, that's weird." Yeah, to me, it really is what it is. You know, it's like the brutal thing. It's like I don't spend enough time around these people for it to really matter to me. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't. Like I don't really care. You know, it's like if you're quiet, you clean up after yourself, you keep to yourself. I don't care. You know, you can do whatever you want. It really doesn't bother me. And it's like again, it's like I spend all my time in my apartment anyway. It doesn't matter. But yeah, he's talked about how he's already like had sex with people. Like I talked about that as well. He got head from some girl, and she was really fat anyway. Like even Chang made like a joke to me about how fat she was. But like the point is like he's been here. I mean, we've all been here less than a month, and he's already gotten head and probably had sex with people. And it's like. I don't know about Chang probably has as well. Like, he was talking about a girl he was talking to, and like we were all sitting around the table one day actually talking about this, and I told them about this girl I was talking to, and obviously like that was the girl who just brutally rejected me like the other week. I talked about that already. Like it was just a brutal rejection. Like her friend was laughing at me, and she was just like ignoring me when I was talking to her in person, you know. And it's just yeah. And they were like saying, "Oh, it's going really well," you know. And it's meanwhile, I'm here, older than these guys, by the way. I'm the oldest one in the apartment by like a year, and I've never had any success in my whole life, you know. And it's just like, you know, like this Jesse guy had like a guy over spend the night in his apartment. So make of that what you will, first of all. But apparently they had like an argument.
Yeah, this is gonna help big time with that, bitch.
And he was talking to me about this, like. Over who had the harder major, and it's just like I just don't care, you know. It's like I'm not trying to get involved in arguments and shit. But it's like the question: does them talking about sex annoy me? You know, or does it bother me? you know, you know, you might think like, oh, it's like rubbing salt in the wound, you know, it's like, and that's the thing with like couples in the university as well. It's like, I don't like seeing couples around because it rubs salt in the wound. And it's like, there's a part of that that's true. Like I said, they're both younger than me, you know, they're both only like 18, and it's like they've already done this stuff, and it's like people say shit like, oh, you know, your time will come, or, you know, everyone develops at their own pace, and it's like, really, that proves that that's just cope, you know, like, as if we needed proof, I know, but, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, everyone develops at their own pace, but, yeah, people develop at their own pace, but some people don't develop at all, because it's not going anywhere for them, because it's just over, and it was over before it even began, you know, it's like, it's that simple, you know, and the thing is, like, that's not even my dream life, you know, like, if I had to sit there, imagining like what my perfect life would look like in regards to a relationship, would I be, you know, going to a jazz bar every weekend and hooking up with MILFs? Like, no, that's not what I want to do. Like, would I be there with a skirt on having some guy suck my dick? Like like, no, you know, like, but that's not my point. It's like, I couldn't do that even if I wanted to, you know. It's like, the thing is, like, I already have porn as well. Like, I can go on Pornhub whenever I want and jerk off whenever I want, and believe me, I am. So it's like, I can cope with that. It's not the sex that even matters to me, you know. But it's like, I guess, like, I know it sounds kind of corny or whatever, and people might say this is cope, but it's like, what I'm looking for really is like the thing I think everyone's looking for is like a real connection with like an actual, like, with a real person, you know, someone to understand me and, you know, care about me and that kind of stuff. And even if it's corny, it's like, I think deep down that's what everyone wants, you know. And it's like, I know, like, it's hard enough getting that if you're Chad, and it's like, I'm not, let's face it, I'm not Chad. So yeah, so like, it does get to me a bit, but then on the other hand, it's like, I've completely given up on women, you know, like, and basically checked out of society at this point. So it's like, it isn't like a month ago it would have bothered me a lot more than it does now, let me put it that way, right? It's like now that I've given up on that goal, it doesn't get to me that much, and I'm thinking about going full neat, really. Like I said, like, checking out of society. Like, I'm thinking about dropping out, really. Like, I'm not sure, like, not anytime soon, but I'm just thinking about, because I don't see where this is going. I'll talk about lectures in a minute, but and like schoolwork and stuff, but it's like, I don't know, like, I'm very apathetic to all of it now. Like, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't bother me like it used to. And it's like, I'm just very tired a lot of the time. I spend basically all day in bed, pretty much, just like, I don't know, like, I'm still tired. I sleep most of the day, I'm still tired, just very apathetic. My eyes just get very heavy, like my eyelids and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, like, I don't dislike my roommates or anything. Like, they're perfectly good people. Like, we go out, we have gone out drinking and stuff, and they're fun enough to hang around with. They, you know, like, I can be myself around them, I feel, for the most part. It's like, I can never be fully myself, obviously, but I can, like, say things I think. But we went out drinking the other night. This is just a brief thing, but we were outside this church in town, and there's like a bar opposite the church, and we were just sitting there outside this bar at like 1 a.m, and this girl came out and she threw up all over like the lawn or whatever in front of this church. It's like a really old cathedral as well. It's like a 1,000-year-old cathedral, and she just threw up all outside of it. And I was just like, like, I just thought, like, jeez, man, fucking hell, like, it's bad, man, you know. It really is. But yeah, anyway, the other thing I want to talk about, and the main thing, even though I've been talking for a while, so I probably won't talk about this for that long, but the main thing I really wanted to talk about today was my lectures and my, like, schoolwork and stuff, and how that's going. And really, like, the flashpoint for me so far has been going to lectures, right? And I think about, what's the purpose of going to these lectures, and on a broader scale, like, what's the purpose of doing a degree? And I guess it's like to get a job, right? That's how I thought about it. It's like, a degree lets you get a job, or maybe like a specific job in like this certain field or whatever. And really, it's like, for a lot of guys, it's just beta boxing, you know. As like brutal as it is, it's like, you see the guys at the university, it's like they're sub 5, whatever their coping norm is, and they're, you know, thinking like, oh, I'm going to get this degree, and if I get this degree, I can get money, and people, you know, I can do whatever, and I can get a goal later on in life, I can be a beta male provider. It's like, maybe they don't consciously think it through like that, but that, you know, still what they're thinking. It's a long-term investment, and it's like, to be honest, I don't think it's an investment worth making. That's not me saying I don't think that people should do degrees. I mean, like, I don't think beta boxing is worth it. Like, I'd rather be single for life, which is just as well, really, because that's probably what's going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, there's beta boxing, and then there's just money for copes. You know, it's like the field I'm in isn't particularly like lucrative. It's like I'm not going to be rich or anything, but I'm going to be fine. It's like, I don't know, but it's just like more money unlocks more cope. I talked about that in my last video, my Q&A actually. But more money unlocks more copes, more, you know, ways to cope, financial freedom and all that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, you need money, and like just future careers and all that shit I don't want to fucking think about. You know, like there was a lecture about that, about like career aspirations to stuff and stuff. I didn't even go. I couldn't even find where it was, and eventually I found it, and it had these like huge doors into this lecture hall, and it's like there were already a bunch of people in there, and it's like I was like 20 minutes late. I didn't want to go in like in front of everyone, because I knew like I'd have just stepped in and everyone would have been looking at me. I was like so I can go in there and learn about careers for a degree I'm probably not even going to finish, because I'm probably going to drop out in less than a year. It's like, why am I humiliating myself with this? I just left. But that's the thing as well, is like I see a lot of Asian kids, you know, a lot of curry cells, a lot of rice cells in this in my lectures and stuff, and it's like, you know, they're getting a lot of pressure from their parents. It's like that's something I can relate to, even though I'm not Asian. Obviously, I can still relate to having a lot of pressure from my mum, because my mum's a teacher. And I remember I'd be in like elementary school, and she'd bring me back work from like high school and like college and stuff, and she'd be like, oh, you need to do this, you need to, like, when you get to high school you need to be better than everyone else. And it's like, first of all, she must have been really fucking disappointed. She'd always have this shit as well. She'd like listen to classical music. She'd put like the headphones or whatever on her stomach when she was pregnant, so she thought like I'd come out smart or something like that. I don't know. It's like, I don't think I'm dumb, but I'm not like a high achiever or anything, let's face it. And it's like, that's one aspect of the whole lecture thing. But another thing I'm thinking about is like studying as a cope, right? Because it's like, this is something like I know I did, and I see a lot of people do. It's like they turn studying into a cope, and you see like teachers gaslight people with stuff like this, and like advice. Like my mum would say this to me. She's like, you need to learn to love studying, you need to learn to like it, you know. And it's like, it's normal for a kid to hate school, because if you think about what school is, it's like you take a kid who just wants to run around and do this kind of stuff and have fun, and you sit them down in a classroom for 5 hours a day, and it's like, it's normal for them not to want to do that, and teach them a bunch of boring shit they don't even understand. And it's like, then the school like diagnoses these kids with like ADHD or autism or something like that, and then they shoot them up with loads of drugs and chemicals and shit to try and get them to sit still. It's like, of course they don't want to sit still, you know. Like I remember when I was a kid, I'd ask my mum literally every morning, like, why do I have to go to school? And she'd just be like, I'll just be quiet and go. And it's like, looking back, it's like, there's no reason, you know. There's no reason. School is just, it's an introduction to life, you know. It's like, school will be the best place you can go to if you're, I mean, it's just like anything else in life. If you're Chad, it's, you know, easy. If you're Stacey, it's easy. If you're sub 5, it's over, you know. So there you go. But I don't know, like, I would consider studying to be like a positive cope, because if you can turn it into a cope and you can do well, like, it's better to do well than not, right? I guess. But I don't know. I'm not even really that interested in the degree I'm doing, to be honest. Like, I don't hate it, but what I really like is history, to be honest. I like history. Like, I even have a second channel, which I know, like, I should have uploaded, and I haven't yet. I know. I am, believe it or not, I am chipping away at it. I'm just a huge procrastinator, so it takes ages. But that's what I like. Like, I like history more than the thing I'm doing. And so you might think, like, oh, why not do a history degree? But it's like, first of all, I don't even enjoy school at all. Like, I could study the black pill in school and I'd hate it. It doesn't matter. It's not how interested I am. It's just school turns anything shit, to be honest. But also, there's no money in it. There's no career aspirations unless you want to be a teacher, which I don't. But it's like, I haven't been able to stay on top of work really at all since I started university. Like, I've missed, at this point, honestly, probably like 15 lectures, like 15 hours of lectures I've missed. And it's like, I wanted to stay on top of stuff, but it's like, I've already missed so many. It's like, I was trying to go to them, but I had this awful lecture the other day. This was last Tuesday or last Wednesday, I think. I don't exactly remember. It doesn't really matter. But I went to this lecture, and there was this female lecturer. There was this like woman at the front, and this bitch sounded like Gru from Despicable Me. I think she was like Russian or something, and like, genuinely, no offense, but I could not understand like a word of what she said. And like, no one else could either. I knew no one else could, because like halfway through the lecture, everyone whipped out their phones and they started going on Snapchat or some shit, or just playing around. There was this like couple in front of me, and the girl like got bored and like rested her head on her boyfriend's shoulder, like literally the seats directly in front of mine. And meanwhile, I just wanted to leave, and I was hemmed in on both sides by people. I couldn't get up, I couldn't leave, I just had to sit there. And I kind of swore to myself in there. I was like, this is shit. I'm not going to another lecture. Fuck this. Like, obviously, I'm meant to go to like lab work and stuff, but apart from that, I can just watch the recordings online. You know, that's the way I see it. And it's like, that's so much better because I can pause the video. If something doesn't make sense, I can rewind it. I can pause it to take notes. I can work in small chunks. You know, I can get up and walk around. Each lecture's an hour long. I can do it in like 20-minute chunks. Pause it, eat, get up, do something. I don't know. You know, and it's like all those benefits, not to mention not being constantly annoyed by like couples and stuff and all this shit. And it's like, they still say, like some teacher said, like, oh, do come to the in-person lectures because you get more out of it. And it's like, why? You know, and if you ask them why, they'll just say, oh, you just do. And it's like, no. Like asking my mum when I was a kid, why do I have to go to school? You just do. It's like, no. You know, why? It's not good enough. You just do isn't a good, you know, like, would you really be satisfied with that as an answer? They have this website that the university uses to upload all the lectures onto. That's where they put them. That's where they put all the assignments and shit, like tests and stuff. It's like, it's all on this one website. And I've never used one of these, like, because I've used a couple of these in my life, like in high school and stuff. I'd use similar things that, you know, school would make you sign up for, and I've never used one of these education websites that's not really like unintuitive and difficult to navigate. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so confusing going on there and like, where do I go? Where's all this shit? I don't know. You know, and it's like, to be honest, I open it, I take one look at it, it's too confusing to navigate, and I'm like, oh, whatever. It's like, part of that is procrastination. It's just like, I just give up so easily, you know, I just give up so easily on things, and like, I'm so easily intimidated by stuff I don't know, so I just like, oh, it's probably too hard to give up. And it's like, people will try and gaslight me, and they'll be like, oh, well, if you give up, of course it's not going to work. But it's like, no one's born like that, really. It's like, you learn that. If you have this mindset of everything's too hard, I'm not going to try it because I fail at everything. It's like, how do you gain that attitude? You gain it from a lifetime of failing at everything, you know? And it's like, if I tried, I probably would fail, you know? I just don't have the mental energy for it. Like I said, I'm just very apathetic. I'm very tired. Like, I think I've just been thrown off the horse too many times, I think, to be honest. I did have a phone call with my mum, and I was explaining how I'm kind of like anxious about you know, like missing assignments and stuff, because I don't want to like get kicked out. Like, if I drop out, like, I drop out, but I don't want to get kicked out, you know, like, I want to choose to do it, you know, and like at the right time and stuff. And I don't want to move home at all yet, so it's like, we'll see what happens with that. But I told her, and she started freaking out, and she was like, right, I'm going to get on the website right away, and we are going to speak to the special support people, and they're going to get in place, because she thinks like she's going to tell them like I'm autistic, and it's going to magically fix everything, or they're going to care. It's like, same shit happened at my high school, you know. My mum would tell them, and they wouldn't care, they wouldn't do anything. And she was like really surprised. She was like, we can sue them, we can take them to court, and it's like, just no, you know. It's like, no one gives a fuck. It's like, I'm not even denying I'm autistic, you know. That's not even the point. But it's just like, it doesn't do anything. Like, no one cares, you know. No one gives a shit. And part of it's the Phalo effect as well. Like, I'm sure if I was a Chad, you know, they'd care a lot more. But it's not even that. It's just like, no one gives a fuck. You know, it's just, everyone is very apathetic, I think. I don't know. But she was like, oh, this is why you should have gone to university much closer to home, because there was this like university that's like probably a half-hour drive from my hometown, and my mum really wanted me to go there, but I'd like move out there, and it's like, what's even the point? It's like, I did deliberately move as far away as possible. Like, I literally left the country, you know, like, it's like the European equivalent of moving out of state, pretty much, just to get away from like my subhuman family and all the shit that's gone on in my hometown. Like, I want to get as far away from that as possible, you know. And it's like, I don't regret that decision at all, but like, the university is university. Like, I'm going to flop either way, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I had this idea of like, so the same thing happened in high school. Like, I would fall behind on loads of work, and then I'd fail and shit, and it's like, I was like, oh, if I could do it again, I'd be better, you know, this time will be different. And that's what I think every time. I gaslight myself into thinking it. It's like, every time it's not different, every time it's the same, but worse, you know. Because the stakes get higher as well, so it's like, if I fail, it's worse. It's like, I don't question my work ability. I know I can study alright, but the thing is, studying is kind of a pointless skill to have. It's kind of a waste of a skill, you know. It's just like rote memorization for a test, regurgitate the information, then forget it next week. And I mean, all that's true. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it.